Welcome, Stashers, to another episode of Stache Sports. Last night, the Pittsburgh Penguins were down 2-0 to the Utah Mammoth, and you know that I think the Utah Mammoth are the dumbest name for a hockey team, but the Penguins were down 2-0 to the Utah Mammoth. And last night was a pivotal game because every team that's coming up on the Penguins right now for the number 2 spot in the Metropolitan won last night. And that last night before the game started, the New York Islanders beat the Colorado Flames, so the New York Islanders were above the Penguins in points because the Penguins haven't played yet. So last night was a really important game, and going down 2-0 early, that was a little disappointing. But the Penguins didn't give up last night, and they fought their way back and won 4-3. That was a really good game last night. Even though Stuart Skinner gave up 3 goals near the end, Stuart Skinner had pretty good saves near the end of the game to help the Penguins win. It's nice to see the Penguins come back 2 times from big deficits without having the two superstars in the game. With Evgeny Malkin being out, and with Malkin being out, and with Sidney Crosby being out due to injury still. It was nice to see the Penguins finally do that. I'm glad they won. Like I said, they definitely needed a win. They didn't need to fart around. They didn't need to mess around and find out what would happen. I'm glad they won last night. They won 4-3. 4-3. But that's nice to see them score. They won 4-3. So now they're back at number 2 spot since they got their win. Anthony Mantha was the number 1 star last night. And Erik Karlsson was the 2nd star. The Utah Mammoth scored 2 earlier goals in the first period. The Penguins were down 2-0 going into the first period. But the second period, Anthony Mantha with a power play goal. That's nice to see the power play finally scoring, because last year the power play was a little weak. It didn't really score last year. Now the power play is doing a lot better this year under new head coach Dan Muse. It's also nice to see that Dan Muse is taking his team and making them win and come back in these games when they don't have their superstars in, and that they're listening to Dan Muse, and Dan Muse knows how to coach them to coach them up well enough to win without the 2 superstars. And then Tommy Novak scored. It's nice to see Tommy Novak. Tommy Novak is coming really well into himself this year. Tommy Novak is really making a name for himself compared to last year. I'm glad to see Tommy Novak show up for the Penguins this year and do a lot better. Brian Rush scores. Brian Rush is one of the great Penguin players. It's nice to see him still scoring. And there's another power play. 2 power play goals. That's great last night to keep the power play heavy, because that's what the Penguins need. When you're on a short man, you need to keep shooting in the net and not passing like they used to do in long days. They need to keep shooting at the net, but they won. And Noah Kari had a game-winning goal to make it 4-3. But that's nice to see the Penguins win. And that's nice to see the Penguins win. They have a day off today, like I said, and tomorrow they go play the Colorado Avalanche. And the Colorado Avalanche are one of the best teams right now. I think the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Wild, but it's going to be hard for Toronto Maple Leafs because they're without their captain, which is bad. Gudas, whatever his name is, they hurt Crosby, also hurt the captain for the United States and captain for Toronto with a torn knee ready. The St. Louis Blues, I think the Jets beat the St. Louis Blues. The St. Louis Blues on the rebuild, and I think the Jets are trying to fight for a playoff spot, so I think the Jets win. I think the Sharks beat the Senators. I think the Ducks beat the Canadiens. I think the Oilers beat the Predators. I think the Panthers beat the Kraken. Last night, the Boston Celtics won 111-100 against the Washington Wizards. It's nice to see the Boston Celtics win. It's nice to see them bounce back after a tough 2 losses against San Antonio and against Oklahoma City, who are the 2 best teams in the East. It's nice to see them win. I think the Thunder are going to beat the Timberwolves. I think the Cavaliers will beat the Mavericks. I think the Pistons will beat the Raptors. I think the Pistons will beat the Raptors. The Pistons are one of the better teams, and I think they're going to continue to that today. I don't know if Toronto's going to have enough for them. I know it is in Toronto. Might help because Toronto is 18-16 at home. But I think a 23-10 is going to be the one way. I got the Bucks over the Pacers. I got the Sixers over the Trailblazers. I got the Knicks over the Warriors. And the Jazz over the Kings. But that's not the most important part. The most important thing is tonight. Tonight at 8 p.m., Paul Skeens, the greatest American pitcher, goes up in the World Baseball Classic against the Dominican Republic. This is the toughest challenge the United States has had probably since maybe playing Mexico in the earlier round-robin rounds. The Dominican Republic is one of the other teams that are stacked. They have a lot of players that played in MLB. Because the Dominican Republic is a really big pipeline that goes in the MLB, if you didn't know, and they have a lot of Dominicans. Like O'Neal Cruz that plays for the Pirates. He's been hitting a lot of bombs for the Dominicans, a lot of home runs. But we'll see what he does tonight. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be one of the better games tonight because both the Dominican and the United States are looking to go to the final to either play Italy or Venezuela. I can't believe that Venezuela upset Japan. Japan was another top team in the conference. I can't believe that Venezuela ended up upsetting Japan. That was quite impressive. It was nice to see Japan, but Venezuela win last night. It would be nice to see what the United States did tonight. What Paul Skeens going to do? How many of his Air Force buddies will be there tonight? I know he's probably going to pitch 4 or 5 innings because that's what it seems like most of the pitchers have been pitching because they're on the pitch count. They don't pitch them too much since it's early in the season. But we'll see. We'll see what kind of lights he has tonight because he's going to be pitching against probably one of the best stacked rosters in all of the World Baseball Classic, in my personal opinion, the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic is really hot right now, too. I don't think they lost a game. Or they only lost like 1 game or something. But the Dominican Republic is looking really sharp right now. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but we'll see. Oh, yeah, yeah. Boom. Boom. For those who don't know, here's the baseball team for the Dominican Republic. They're playing the United States tonight. Key players: Juan Soto. He plays for the Mets. He's a Mets superstar. He's one of the better outfielders. So you probably know that name if you watch baseball. Juan Soto, who plays for the Mets. He also used to play for the Yankees a little bit too. And the Washington Capitals. Nationals, I think. Fernando Tatis Jr., he plays for the Padres. And he's a noble Grand Slam in the world. He has a noble Grand Slam in the world baseball. Jose Rodriguez plays for the Minnesota. Julio Rodriguez is a good center fielder who plays for the Seattle Mariners and finished 6th in MLB voting in 2006. O'Neal Cruz and Juan Rojas both provide depth by defense. O'Neal Cruz plays for the Pirates and Juan Rojas, ROJs is pretty good too at center field. So that's going to be a stacked field. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who plays for the Blue Jays and is one of the better hitters at first base. Manny Machado, who plays for the Padres. That's a really stacked lineup. Junior Carmio, probably mispronouncing it. Carmino, who plays for the Tampa Bay Rays. Cartel Marte, who plays for the Diamondbacks. He's pretty good too. Jimmy Pernana and Palmado, both are good baseball players. Carlos Santana, he gets to play for the Pirates, is a good first baseman. And Eminem Rijos is a good utility player. This is a stacked team right now. Austin Wells, he's a decent catcher. Sandy Archer is a pitcher. But they have really good players. It's going to be interesting to see what happens tonight with Paul Skeens. And the other pitcher for the Dominican Republic is pretty good too. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the United States World Baseball Classic tonight. It's at 8 o'clock on Fox Sports 1 if you want to watch it, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. For those of you that might live in the Western Time Zone, if you watch the broadcast, it's 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But that's a good team for the United States. The United States is so stacked too. We got people like Aaron Judge. We got Gunnar Henderson. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting game. I don't know if it's going to be interesting to see what happens. when our players, if you haven't been watching the Baseball Classic, or Aaron Judge, you know Aaron Judge, he plays for the Yankees. Bobby Witt Jr., he's pretty good. Kyle Riley, he's one of the young upcomer hitters. Bryce Harper. Paul Skeens, he's one of the best pitchers. Tyler Screwball, even though Tyler Screwball doesn't get pitch for the United States anymore because he only wanted to pitch one game, but he pitched for them. Mason Miller. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting year. The United States plays tonight. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be interesting to see what Paul Skeens does. Because I really do think Paul Skeens is the best pitcher, and he's going against the best lineup. Because in my personal opinion, besides this is probably one of the most stacked lineups that he's gone against. Mexico's pretty stacked too from earlier rounds that he went against, but this is probably more stacked because a lot of more players come from Dominican Republic too right now, but are playing in baseball. There's a lot of, it's good. There's a lot of good players. It's just going to be a lot tougher because they have the more equally matched, in my personal opinion. But we'll see. I hope it's a good game. I think the United States pulls out and goes to the final and either plays Venezuela or Italy in the finals. But we'll see. I'll talk more about that tomorrow. Beautiful. Whoa. Yeah, I'll talk more about that tomorrow in the United States. I'll be watching that tonight with my Paul Skeens jersey on back there. Can't wait to see what he does for the United States. He did pretty good in his first game. He only let up like one hit over 7 strikeouts and 1 walk for 4 innings. So it'll be good to see what he can do for this game. Hopefully, but it's going to be a lot harder, like I said, because this team is more equally matched with the United States than most of the other teams are, besides maybe Mexico. You know, if it's against the other teams, it says they don't have that many Major League Baseball players. College basketball is right around the corner, and last night Duke punched their ticket. Duke! And that was a good game. Duke versus Virginia. Duke punched their ticket. Well, we'll get back to that. We'll talk about Duke in a minute here. Earlier today, I was watching the Paralympics, the Special Olympics, and I was watching the Paralympic hockey or sled hockey. That was pretty cool. I didn't ever watch sled hockey before in the Special Olympics or Paralympics. I never watched that before. But the United States won gold and they beat Canada. They said this is the first time that the United States has won gold in women's hockey, men's hockey, and Paralympics hockey all at the same time. That is nice. That's quite some history. The United States won 6-2 against Canada today, but it was cool watching them sled on little sleds and play. It was kind of interesting watching that. I've never seen it before, so it's kind of cool watching that, to watch the United States win gold against Canada yet again. So some could say that hockey is our sport this year, but I thought I should give them a shout out on Stache Sports. So congratulations to the men's Paralympic sled hockey team on getting gold. And I think they said it's the 5th straight gold too. So congratulations to them. But right now, it's a college basketball time, and it's a college basketball time to see who gets into March Madness. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But last night, the teams that punched their tickets, and the teams today that are punching their tickets, we'll get into. Last night, Duke punched their ticket to go to the college basketball to go to the March Madness. A lot of these experts believe that, and I did too, that last night Duke punching their ticket also punched their way to go into the number one seed throughout the whole conference. But we'll officially see it today when the brackets come out. And if you guys still want to do brackets, please let me know down below if you guys want to do a bracket challenge together. But when the brackets come out later today, and I'll talk about more of that tomorrow because they don't really start until Thursday or Friday, the games. I know we do have some games like 11-11, I don't know, University versus Jack, whatever, University versus University, but are tied at 11. They have a play-in game to see who plays the higher seed, so you don't know who plays that, but those could be upsets too. But the real tournament starts with the brackets count on Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern time, lunchtime. So if you guys want to do brackets, please let me know. But anyway, we're getting back to the teams that made it. So last night, Duke won 76-74-70 over Virginia. That was a good game. That was a back-and-forth game until the very end. But now they believe that Duke, and I do too, that Duke's the number one team throughout the whole thing. We'll find out later today, and I'll let you know tomorrow. But like I said, the brackets are not locked in until Thursday at 12. So if you guys want to do a bracket, please let me know below. won 79-74 against Houston. That's nice to see Arizona win. They're the Big 12 championship, so they'll be locked into the March Madness too. I mean, Houston's going to get in too. Houston's a pretty good record. Also, talking about the Big 12, let's hope that UCF gets in. UCF has a pretty good taste to be one of the 64 teams, even though they only won one game in the college football championship. In the basketball tournament, excuse me. But they have a good chance of making it. St. John's upset UConn last night to win the Big East. I mean, UConn and St. John's will probably both be in because they have a good enough record to make it to the March Madness. But UConn got upset last night. But UBMC beat Vermont. UBMC will be in the college basketball tournament this year because they won their tournament. Howard beat North Carolina Central, so Howard will be in the tournament this year because they won their conference tournament. Utah State will be in it because Utah State beat San Diego State in their tournament. Prairie View A&M will be in it because they won their tournament over Severn. Akron will be in it because they won their tournament over Toledo. Kennesaw State beat Louisiana Tech, so Kennesaw State will be in the March Madness men's bracket. Hawaii will be over UC Irvine. And California Baptist won late last night over Utah Valley, and they will be in the March Madness tournament. And if you need to know the rest of the teams, will be in locked automatic locks. You can go back to yesterday's video and watch that clip again. Today, right now we got, it's first starting the second half, right? Today we got Arkansas and Vanderbilt. Arkansas is winning right now, but I think Vanderbilt's going to come back and upset them. But no matter what, I think Arkansas and Vanderbilt should be in the March Madness tournament because their records are pretty good. But we'll see. Penn and Yale. Both Penn and Yale, one of those teams needs to win. Right now, Pennsylvania's winning in overtime. With 1 minute 57 left, 82-78. Whoever wins that game will be going to March Madness and representing the Ivy League tournament final. VCU's playing right now against Dayton. Whoever wins that will be going to the A-10 championship final. It will be VCU Rams or the Dayton Flyers. I think it'll be Dayton. I think USF beats South Florida beats Wichita State and goes to the March Madness. Even though I'm a UCF diehard, I think South Florida wins. And Purdue and Michigan, that's going to be the later game today. Michigan's the number 1 seed, but maybe Purdue might upset them. That's going to be a game. I say the upset for Purdue just to make it something else. But right now, these are obviously, like I said earlier, I think UCF should make it to the March Madness. They had a good year this year. I mean, they beat a couple good opponents, but now it's going to be the time to see if Miami of Ohio makes it. Because Miami of Ohio only lost 1 game, but Miami of Ohio doesn't play in a better conference. Doesn't play that good of a conference. So would that be against them tonight when the committee is picking? Or would it be like, they only lost 1 game? And sometimes people don't want to play Miami of Ohio, so they were trying to play better teams in their non-conference games, and some of the times they didn't want to play them because it's Miami of Ohio. But I don't know if that's going to affect them. I mean, they didn't lose any games at all this year besides 1 game against UMass in the first round of a conference championship or conference tournament. So would that go against them now? That's going to be the biggest debate tonight that the committee has to debate about. Are they going to, right now, it looks like if it holds, and Joe Lombardi that always predicts these matches, Joe Lombardi that always predicts these brackets, it looks like he has Miami of Ohio as the first 4 in, and Auburn as the first 4 out. Somebody's going to be upset tonight, and there's going to be controversy, but we'll see. I think Miami of Ohio should get in, because I think they only lost 1 game. And yes, I do realize they don't play in a good conference, and I do get that. I understand that. They don't play in a good conference, and like Auburn plays in the SEC, and that's a lot better conference than the MAC or whatever they're in. But I think I think they should be in, but we'll see. It's going to be an interesting time of the year. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I want to know what you guys think. I wonder who you guys think is going to win. Do you guys think Duke's going to win? Who's going to win the college basketball championship this year? Ooh, but we are. But we'll see. Right now, I've been watching the Arkansas game, and that's been pretty good so far. And I'll probably watch the Michigan game later. But I'll definitely be watching the United States basketball game tonight. I can't believe that the United States are playing basketball. They're playing basketball. Baseball. They're playing baseball. United States baseball. I'll be watching college basketball. It'll be interesting to see who wins. Vanderbilt will be interesting to see if they win or whoever wins these ever tournaments. I'm wondering now if there's going to be a lot of upsets this year in the March Madness. That's what's a lot of good, but we'll talk more about the upsets and possible spoilers I could see tomorrow in tomorrow's episode when the brackets come out tonight. But like I said, the brackets are not official until Thursday at noon because they have playing games to play and to see who gets them, and you can't pick that. You don't predict unless you don't pick that unless they change that rules in the ESPN app that I use. But we'll see. But I think it's a good year. Pretty good game so far. Last night was a pretty good game. So glad to watch the Penguins come back and not blow it since they had needed a much win after all the other teams to the conference won last night. They needed that much win. But we'll see. I can't wait to see what Paul Skeens does today. One of my friends, Colin, said that he's not the best pitcher, but he is, Colin. We all know that Paul Skeens is one of the best pitchers. And yes, you can say that I'm a little biased because he's a Pirate player, But I think he is one of the best pitchers to pitch in baseball right now. But we'll see. But we will see. One of my friends asked me about wrestling. I haven't watched Raw yet. SmackDown yet. I still need to watch SmackDown about WrestleMania. But it's still too early to pick and who I think is going to win the WrestleMania. Because WrestleMania is still a month away, but I'll do my picks later on when that comes around. WrestleMania is the Super Bowl for wrestling. But it'll be nice to see what happens. Bo Booty. Charleston. Here's the ladies' brackets. Last night for the ladies, since I did the ladies yesterday, if you want to watch everyone's, Harvard over Princeton. That was the only matchup yesterday. That was the final. Oh, that's not right. Excuse me, that's a lie. Princeton beat Harvard, so they'll be going to the women's finals, the women's tournament. Miami of Ohio will definitely be going for the women's, but will they be going for the men's? I guess I'll find out later today. Southern beat Alabama State in the women's, and they'll be going. Charleston beat Stony Brook. Murray State beat Northwest Iowa. California Baptist men and women are going to be going because they beat Arlington Christian. Host Club bet Dexter. Howard is going in the women's because they beat Norfolk State. Evansville beat Illinois State. Louisiana Tech lost in both men's and women's, but to Missouri State. UC San Diego is going because they beat Hawaii in the women's. And UTSA is going for the women's, the Roadrunners. But later tonight, after the men's college basketball, the women's college basketball tournament does too. Maybe if you guys want to do women's too, you can talk about that too, if you want to do women's bracket. But the women's, they're going to make the women's brackets official tonight later, but I don't know when they lock. I know the men's block on the first day of the first games. Probably whatever the women's are. Right now, Charleston is playing Hospa. I don't know who's going to win. I say Charleston. Murray State's winning 10-4 over Evansville. 15-4. I think they win. Holy Cross beat Lehigh 77-70. And Fair Dixon beat Long Island University, so they'll be going to the college basketball championship for the women's. But the women's. But we'll see. Right now, for my Jacksonville people, there's the golf tournament going right around the corner from you guys. It's called the Players Tournament at the PPG Sawgrass in downtown near Jacksonville. Pine Ridge, whatever it is. Right now, the leader is Ludovic ADB Jig and Michael Thompson, or Trombone, and Michael's number 2, and Matt Fitzpatrick's number 3. Cameron Young's tied for 3rd. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting day. If you guys are out there watching the golf in Jacksonville, enjoy yourself. It's going to be interesting to see who wins the golf tournament. Hopefully, Michael can come back up and he can be a nice Stache player. But I'm going to say Justin Thomas. Wait, no, don't say Justin Thomas. I'm going to say Jacob Bridgman is going to come back and win it. Jacob Bridgman is going to come back and win the Masters, or the Players, excuse me. Jacob is going to come back and win the Players. You heard it here first on Stache Sports, but we'll see. If you guys, like I said, if you guys are interested in doing a March Madness bracket, please let me know down below. I'll be watching the rest of the games today. You can't wait to watch the United States play tonight and see who the United States plays and see how good the United States plays. I can't wait to see what Paul Schemes does for the United States. Hopefully Paul Schemes is lights out like he was in Game 1 for the United States and have a good game. But they need to get their bats hitting tonight because they're playing against one of the better teams. They need to get their bats hitting right away and not let it believe. They don't need to be going down like they did against Italy, because I don't think it's going to be pretty good like it was against Italy. They need to make sure the bats hit, and they have the bats. They have a team to beat. They have a best team, but like I said, tonight's going to be one of the most important games because tonight's the night that they play against a team that's evenly matched, or closely matched in my opinion. I mean, no offense against Italy. Italy's looked pretty good too. Italy's one game away from making the finals and having a rematch against the United States if they make it. But no against them. I just think that the Dominican Republic has a better stacked team. But I can't wait to see what Paul Schemes does tonight. I'm really excited to see what he does. I hope he does a good game. It's going to be interesting to see him go up against Orneal Cruz, who's plays for the same team. But it's going to be an interesting matchup to see them go against each other. I think Purdue beats Michigan, like I said. I think Vanderbilt comes back and beats Arkansas, excuse me, not Tennessee, Arkansas. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see what teams make it and what teams don't. Like I said, the teams that I mentioned today and yesterday that are automatic bids are conference championships. I mean, we all know Virginia and Arizona are going to make it, but it depends on what seed they are. The other questions like UCF back there, will they make it? I think they will. I think they had a good enough story, but we'll see. I mean, I know they might make it to the NIT or other tournaments like that, but I think they can make it to the college basketball March Madness, but we'll see. There's 64 teams that make it, and I think they have a good enough record. They only have 10 losses coming into the conference, and they're number 8 seed. I don't know if Florida State will make it, but we'll see. Miami probably will make it. Florida will make it. Yesterday, Florida lost to Vanderbilt, but people are saying that even though they lost to Vanderbilt, they think Florida might have guaranteed themselves as number 1 seed. So I guess time will tell today. Florida was, if you don't know, guys, Florida won the national championship last year and looking to repeat and looking like they might have a chance to repeat. Or other teams like Michigan, who's number 1, or Duke, who's looking pretty good too, or Houston, Arizona. It's going to be an interesting time of the year. March Madness is a great time of the year. I can't wait to see what happens in March Madness. But thank you for watching Stache Sports and being local viewers. Thank you for watching my videos. If you have any comments or want to do a bracket, please let me know down below. But thank you for watching Stache Sports.